Hey everyone, it's Jake of Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well and welcome to episode 31 of my Metal Vault, where I will be exploring and showing you my favorite albums within heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal, you name it, all of that excellent stuff. Not only talking about the albums, but the bands themselves, going through releases leading up to said albums that I will be chatting about in this series. And I'd like to apologize again for not having this out on the days that I usually have it. This was supposed to be out on Tuesday, but obviously work, gym, and admin meeting with my pagan group all pretty much took priority and just didn't have time to do it. So I thought I'll do it on Wednesday. Well, why not? Just move it to a different day that I normally don't do these videos. Usually I do a favorite death metal albums video, but now thinking about it, I can never get them in on Wednesday. So just to quickly change it around, not Wednesdays, Thursdays now. So favorite death metal album videos will be on Thursdays, but sometimes might be Wednesdays. But either way, let's not dilly-dally about that. Well, there's a word I didn't think I'll say on the channel. Let's crack on with some excellent metal from Gothenburg, Sweden. Band that formed in 1992. Been playing his music for 32 years now. Had to think about that then, didn't I? This band, a lot of you fans are going to know them. You know this band here. Newcomers, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this series. This is Sacramentum. And these guys, melodic black death metal, quality stuff. Saw them at UK Death Fest in 2022. So whoever was there, you would have saw them there as well. They were on the stage at the Electric Ballroom. And this album cover, I knew about this band because of this album cover. And then I thought, I need to actually check these guys out, but obviously finding other bands and never got around to it until very recently, like 2 years ago. Because there's still plenty of those bands I haven't checked out properly, but yeah, like this one, and I still need to get their other two albums, which I will talk about. Anyway, Sacramentum. This is their 1996 debut. Far Away from the Sun. What an album! Quality album, and just to add in here, this is one of Ken's favorite albums. Ken of Ken's Death Metal Crypt. Do check him out in the description. Link to his channel. Go over there. Quality stuff. He has shown this album on one of his videos. And yeah, it's a phenomenal album. It's the back with the band. These two are still currently in the band to this day. Of course, he just does vocals nowadays. And Nise, I don't know how you say his name. And Andres. Hope I said that right. And of course, Nicholas, who's from Room Magic. He played drums on this album and was in the band from. Click on the album in question. He was in this band from 94 to 1999. Then 2019 when they reformed to 2020. And obviously his main band is obviously Room Magic. And I will listen to the album from last year after this video. But let's crack on with this. Now, there's something interesting about this one here. And I'll get on to that in a minute. Just going to get the piece of paper out. As well as show you the artwork again. Because obviously light glaring on case. Love the artwork. Just fits the style of music that they've gone for, you know, melodic black death metal. But the album itself, for certain parts, just goes straight like into just that the harshness of just black metal. Of course, got the logo bigger there and the album title. title of the album. Of course, there's a title track as well on the album. One of my favorite logos there. And straight some lyrics here, here, and here. And I believe there was some. No, I thought it was some thanks list there. But anyway, now and I'll show the CD quickly as well. It's really cool that. Now, before I crack on with the history of the band and this album in general, I opened this case up. I opened the CD up and saw a piece of paper. Because this album came out on the 15th of May 1996, so it'll be 28 this year. I found this receipt in the CD because it came with a bunch of other CDs from someone who sold them to Black City Records. This is where I got it from. Now, if you look on this little bit of paper, you'll see a date, 15th of August 1996. Yeah, I got an original pressing of this album, and let's get it back up again. Yeah, this is an original. That isn't a, yeah. You know, because whoever bought them obviously would have got these all back in the day, but some people like, oh, you can't prove that's an original. Well, I just showed that bit of paper. It's right there. And I got a few original pressings, carbonized and yeah, carbonized, Polish Curie, and in my collection of vinyl, Benediction, a Grand Leveler, and some tapes in there as well. Anyway, that original. So, but let's crack on with this one. Let's crack on with the band themselves, Sacramentum, formed in 1992 in Gothenburg, Sweden. But before that, 1919 to 1992, they were called Tumulus. Probably said that one. Tumulus. Probably said that wrong. So 1992 to 1990 to 1992, and then changed the name to Sacramentum in 1992, and then released the EP in 93 and a demo in 93 and an EP in 94. And I'm not going to try and say their names because you know how my pronunciations are. And of course, that leads up to the album in question, Far Away from the Sun. And of course, they released two albums after that. In 1987, the Coming of Chaos, and in 1999, Thy Black Destiny. Of course, split up in 2001, 2 years after Thy Black Destiny came out. Did a compilation called Abyss of Time, which would have all stuff demo album related. Probably some brand new stuff. Or stuff never heard before. Complete discography in 2022. That would be all the albums. So like Far Away from the Sun, The Coming of Chaos, and like Black Destiny, as well as the EP, the demo and EP. Well, if you have that, lucky you. And of course, did a split with a death metal band that I have checked out called, and really enjoyed the demo, the band Cross Splitter. And they did covers, both did covers, did a cover each. It's called Satan's Black Sex Masses. And there's a reason for the title for that. Sacramentum's cover of Black Masses by Merciful Fate. Crossbitter's cover of Sex with Satan by Piledriver. So once again, Sacramentum, Black Masses, Merciful Fate cover. So just mixed it up. So like put Satan in front of. So like Satan's Black Sex Masses. And there you go. Yeah, this band's been, like I said, they've been around since they started in 1990, but been under the name Sacramentum for 32 years. This album's been out for 28, so 2 years from now, nearly 28, 15th of May this year, 28, but 2 years' time, 30. It's crazy how long this album's been out for and how long this band's been playing music. And like I said, I saw them at UK Death Fest. I bought the t-shirt. And I thought, if I can find a copy of the CD or vinyl, I will definitely get it. And luckily, an individual was just getting rid of a lot of their CDs. That was in the pile of it in that collection at Black City, and I thought, yeah, I'm picking it up. Of course, I don't know who had it before, paid back then. Yeah, but who knows? But you know, an original pressing as well. Quality stuff. Let's get a quick drink in. My throat's getting a bit dry. That's better. Now let's get on with the album in question. Only, of course, there's only three members, these three individuals, because everyone knows Nicholas from Room Magic. Obviously, does guitar and vocals for that band. But on here, he only played the drums. He only played the drums. And it's cool when you got members like that who can play multiple different instruments. Of course, vocals, guitars in Room Magic. Great vocalist. Uh, and Andrews on guitar. Quality guitar playing on here. Vocals and bass when Nice. I'm not sure how you say his name, so I'm not going to try and say it again. But this dude, these three dudes made a made a fantastic album with the engineering, the mixing and mastering by Dan Swano. You veterans, you're gonna know who that is. You know who that is, but for anyone brand new, you might not know who this is. Here's a band that you need to check out: Edge of Sanity. He did vocals as well as doing vocals and playing guitar for various different bands. Bloodbath being another. He has engineered, mixed, mastered, produced so many, so just so many albums by so many bands. Excuse me. And it shows on this album. I've heard other albums with his, with his magic behind it. And you can tell, like with certain albums, you can tell who, when you hear New Cannibal Corpse stuff, Eric Rutan, and certain albums that have a certain sound and flair to them, that'd be like either Peter Tagran of Hypocrisy, or again this album by Dan Swanner, and various different you know sound engineers and everything like that. When you hear albums from the early more sound days, like especially like Sepultura, Death, and uh the first four Cannibal Corpse albums and Terrorizer and so on, Scott Burns, you can definitely tell. So yeah, quality album. Just starting from the first track, Fog's Kiss, which leads into the title track, Far Away from the Sun. I mean, Fog's Kiss, great opener, and that's leading in, obviously, title track, Far Away from the Sun, and then that goes straight into this beast of a track, Blood Shall Be Spilled, and then When Night Surrounds Me. That's just, in itself, that's a haunting name. And then Cries from a Restless Soul. Just thinking about when I hear that, see that, seeing the name of the song and heard it when I heard it yesterday. Yeah, basically you can just picture like just wandering souls, where like in like the moors or in a graveyard or somewhere. Obsolete Tears into that one. Just how every song transitions into one. Beyond All Horizons, one of my favorite tracks on it, along with the self-titled When Night Surround Me, and obviously Fog's Kiss, not Frog's Kiss. Um, yeah, just and then after that, the vision and the voice, and in the outro, darkness falls for me, and that's called and then Far Away from the Sun Part 2. Just how it's all mixed and mastered, the guitar work, the bass work, the drumming, the vocals, all mixed so well. And that's the sign of an awesome band and a talented, not only musician, but sound engineer. Let's get at the back again, so you can see the three individuals who played on this album. Like I said, these two still in the band. Hasn't been in the band since 2020, but of course has his own band, Room Magic, and of melodic death metal. But like I said, it's dark and it's heavy, and in some places harsh, but still keeping that melodic element in there. Obviously, again, being melodic black death metal. It's like I know I said it already, but it's a dark, haunting album, and Cries from a Restless Soul. That's definitely a haunting song title, and the song itself quite haunting but heavy and just a cracking song. Everything on here, just from start to finish. But like I said, that's from Beyond All Horizons, and I'm thinking about it. Cries from a Restless Soul, the title track, and when night surrounds me will definitely have to be four of my favorite tracks on here. Hit like trying to think of other bands around the melodic side of metal, melodic black death metal side, so like Dissection being another one, being another big one from that era, from like early mid 90s. Of course, this being from 96. Trying to think of more quality albums that came out this year. Blanking a bit, but if you know any, comment down below. And this is a timeless masterpiece. There's that word that I say for this series, timeless masterpiece. An absolute banger of an album. Just is excellent. It's a freaking great album. There's one that for all you veterans, if you got this on vinyl, cassette, CD even, and you haven't heard it in a while, put it back on. Just give it another spin and see what old memories ignite from listening to it. Like when you first got it, or when you first knew about this band. It might not have been this one. It might have been The Coming of Chaos, or it might have been Night Black Destiny. Who knows? Or you might have been into the band since day one. For newcomers, if you like that mix of black and death metal, but very melodic sounding, but still quite heavy and harsh. I mean, it's quite harsh in some areas, but obviously it's got that melodic overtone in there. This album definitely is for you. And there's so many more that I can mention, and some of those will be mentioned in this series once I have some of the albums that I don't currently own at the moment. But still, I have this one, and I'm happy that I do, because I'm never getting rid of it ever. You know, absolute classic of an album, and an excellent band that I got to see 2 years ago. What 2 years in September, and they played some of the stuff, and I can't remember which songs. I'll have to look those up later. But you know, excellent, excellent band, timeless masterpiece of an album. Overall conclusion: all the songs on quality, well transitioning from one into the other, how it all just goes from one to the other. So it's like, so one's playing and it starts like straight into the next one. Dan's engineering, mixing, mastering, recording of this album, top quality stuff. The vocals and bass on this album, cracking. Guitars, also cracking. And the drums too, all cracking, well played. You know, so much dedication from all the members in this band with their respective instruments. And just so much, there's so many things in my head, but when I talk about these albums, I got so many things, but I end up saying some of the same things over and over again. But a word that I haven't used as often on here because I just haven't heard it as much or said it as much and haven't thought about saying it, but this is a monumental album of the late 90s metal. You know, when I mean late 90s metal, I mean like melodic, black metal, death metal, melodic black and death metal. Just it's a monumental album for the melodic black and death metal scene. And it still stands the test of time nearly 28 years later. 2 years from now, it's gonna be 30 and it's still kicking and punching you in the face. It's an album like that. I mean, not like a very intense album like, say, Infecting the Crypts by Suffocation, like constantly punching your face. Same with Broken Hope's first album. Be it first album, second album, but either way, this album is still kicking ass now. And it will continue to kick ass for a very long time. To me, it will. To Ken, it will. It will as well. To any of you veterans, definitely still. But there might be people watching this who are new to my channel but know about this album already. But if you're brand new, don't know it, here's one for you. And I'm yet to get the other two albums. I've yet to listen to those two properly. But once I have them both, there we go. But I'll love to see this band do another album. Let's see what happens this year or even next year. Who knows what will happen? But another thing I love to say about this album, as well as it being a monumental, timeless masterpiece, an absolute banner album with excellent songs. 30 years down the line, let's see if they do a show where they're playing nothing but this album, because this is just solid stuff here. And I can't get enough of Swedish metal, and I love my Swedish metal, as you probably heard me talk about in some chats I've done. I love Swedish death metal. I love Swedish metal, be it death metal, black metal, thrash, black thrash, speed, melodic black and death, whatever it is, especially keeping within those specific genres for Swedish metal, but primarily Swedish death metal. But if I'm going to say another favorite albums of mine from Swedish bands, this one definitely. And that artwork, once again, incredible. Absolutely freaking incredible. If you don't have it, or you haven't listened to it, Listen to wherever you listen to. YouTube, Spotify, whichever you listen to. Give it a really, really damn good fucking listen. Because it is one of those albums that I highly recommend. It's phenomenal. Monumental. Excellent. Timeless masterpiece. And don't know what else more I can say but those words. And well done to the lads that, played on the album. Well done to you all. Well done to Dan for the quality sound engineering on this album. Just quality stuff here. Sacramentum and Far Away from the Sun. Quality, excellent stuff. And that is another episode of My Metal Vault. I love showing albums like this since doing this series. Love showing them. Of course, there's albums there that people already know. So, like Death, Scream Bloody Gore, and Possessed, Seven Churches, and all the other albums that I've done before that. So many more I need to show. I got tons and tons and tons of them in like my cupboard there, on there, be it cassettes and so on. So cassettes, vinyl, CDs, whichever I show next in my next one. Obviously, the next one will be a CD because it's another classic from the mid-90s, but you have to wait until that one, and that'll be Friday. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Means a lot. I very much appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate you watching my videos and liking them, because I do, and it means a lot. So to anyone brand new here, don't forget to like this video, share it around, comment if you have anything to say about the album, anything about the band, and most importantly, but if you haven't heard the album yet, but if you already heard it and you got something to say about it, comment down below. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with everything that I have planned for this channel. Just looking at the list now, I got 3 more to do on this page, and then on my 35th episode, I'm bringing back a guest that I have had on this channel recently, and we are going to discuss. Well, you're gonna have to wait what we're going to discuss, but it's 3 albums by the same band. So yeah, and there's so many more albums by the same band that I will just put together, as long as they're in the 80s and 90s. But I may do stuff from this late 60s all the way through to the 70s. Proto metal, hard rock stuff, and of course, heavy thrash, death, black, doom, sludge, folk metal from the early 2000s. But there's so many more from the 90s, and I know there's more like Sacramentum out there. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I've been Jake and Jake's Metal Chat. You do please keep that banner of metal held high, and I will see you all again in another episode of My Metal Vault.